Hi, it's Navneet here from Made in India Media. Today we have honored to welcome someone very special who have begun her journey in a very different way as a doctor and a spiritual guide. She is just not a doctor who heals your body. She also help you to heal from inside as well. Hello Bhavna, welcome.
Hello, Navneet. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you Bhavna. Thank you so much for having us as well. So Bhavna, please tell us about your journey.
Navneet, my journey of writing,
Yes.
that actually started when I was a child.
Okay.
So I started writing for those Indian newspapers, the Indian Express and Tribune. So every weekend I used to write poetry and articles for them. But when I moved here and established myself, I just felt a bit of emptiness. And in that pursuit of filling that emptiness, I got back into writing again, and I started writing on social media. And to my surprise, one of my first posts actually got overwhelming response from people, and I felt that there was a need for people to be motivated. There were a lot of people who were hurt, who felt lonely in their life, and they needed just someone to guide them. So I started writing on everyday basis, and I got in touch with millions of people across the world. And it's been 10 years of my writing journey now. I've been writing each and every day, and it has just been a very blissful and a very happy journey.
So, Bhavna, please tell us, can you tell us, is it your inspirational column? You write as a inspirational stories, or you just set an example for other people?
So I think it's both way. My personal life,
Okay.
how I actually manage and establish myself here in Australia, and also my writing journey itself can be inspirational for people. In terms of writing, I do write every day on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well. I feel that being involved in yoga and meditation had given me that spiritual connection. I feel that I'm guided for my thoughts. So when I write every day, I feel that there's a divine energy, and that's why people feel healed.
So, basically, if you are talking about that, you are healing yourself and others.
Absolutely. I feel that this journey has been blissful for me. And, I found my purpose through this journey. And I feel that anyone who is looking for a meaningful life, they need to start giving back to the community, do something that they have a unique gift. Because I think that everyone has a unique gift or uniqueness in themselves, and that's where they can start their journey to find the purpose in life.
That's really true, and that's really good. So, Bhavna, you talked about happiness. We have seen in our community people are really successful, but still they are very unhappy. And what will be the reason for that?
Okay, let me start this with one of my quotations,
Okay.
that success is not at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Success is where you are happy in your heart. So
That's
that
true.
place can be not necessarily just at the top, it can be just anywhere. As long as you are, feeling fulfilled mentally, you are healthy
Yeah.
in your body, and you are spiritually satisfied, I think you are happy. But what has happened is that our social construct is such that we are made to believe that if we have wealth, if we have status, if we have power, only that we are successful, and that's why we keep chasing those things. And in my personal life also, I found that when I established myself, when I achieved, when I wanted to achieve, there was still that feeling of emptiness. And I believe that a lot of people who become successful and
Yes.
achieve what they wanted to achieve, but they're not giving back to the community, or they are not fulfilling them spiritually, that feeling of emptiness actually makes that success not feel like success.
That's very true, because I, even though in my point of view, if you have everything but you are not giving back, then there is nothing makes you happy, because then end of the day you are just a greedy.
You're very right, Navneet. We all are just chasing money, we are chasing power. But one thing we forget is that end of the day, you want to sleep peacefully, you want to be happy, you want to have happy relationships. If any of these things are not in your favor or they're not working, you're never going to be happy.
That's very true. So, Bhavna, what is the role of appreciation and happiness in our life?
See, appreciation is a driving force in
Yes,
anyone's life, especially in relationships.
that's true.
When we feel appreciated by our family or even in our professional relationship, we tend to do better. We want to show that we can do better than what we have done before. And coming back to relationships, I feel that most of the relationship actually suffer because one of the person is not feeling appreciated enough. And especially, I feel that in context of a family setup, a lot of women who stay home, they usually feel very unappreciated because what they do throughout the day, and they do so much of work because it doesn't bring any financial benefit.
Yes,
People think that they're not contributing and their work is not valued and they're not appreciated. While the partner who is going out and working and bringing financial benefit to the family is usually the one who is considered, worth appreciation. So I feel this mindset needs to be changed, and people need to realize that when they value their partner, they are the ones who are going to benefit when they go out to work. Because if your partner is not doing what they're doing at home, you won't be able to perform your best outside.
that's what I was about to say. But if the partner who is staying at home and doing chores for you,
Yeah,
doing everything behind the scenes, you won't be able to succeed even though in your career.
that's true. That's so true. And not in just in your own relationship, but as a family unit as a whole, for your kids, for your extended family members, I think you lead a more happy life when everyone in the family is appreciated, be it your kid, be it your parents, be it your spouse, be it anyone in your professional life.
That's very true. It's just take two words of appreciation to show that you care for that person. It's not just those words you are saying. It shows that you care for that person.
That's true, and it doesn't have to be something big. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be, flowers or any other way of gifts or anything. Just two words.
Yeah.
If someone comes and tells you, you're doing fantastic, you will feel so motivated and you want to perform better next time.
That's true. Bhavna, we have seen now that there is so many divorce rates are spike these years now. What will be the issue behind that?
See, Navneet, we already talked about
Yes.
lack of appreciation. Now, in any relationship, like trust, understanding, respect, all these things are needed. But what I personally feel these days, what's happening is that we are, in that digital era where
Yes.
everyone is there in their own digital world.
Yes.
So even though two people are sitting together, they are not actually present.
No.
So the same thing happens with in a relationship of marriage where, husband and wife are present, but they don't see that their spouse has some needs or they need their support because they are so occupied. Sometimes, people are wearing headphones and you want to talk to them, but you are unable to talk to them. And so this creates a kind of barrier in between those two people who are actually meant to be together in everything. So I think digital discipline in relationship is very, very important. So spending time together without involving a third person, which can be your gadget,
Yes.
is important for families, for kids, and for relationship to grow.
And I think so, anyhow, the other biggest thing is killing the relationships are silence.
Yeah, that's true, and that's what happens when you are 24 hours on your gadgets. You feel so mentally exhausted that when someone wants to talk to you,
Yeah.
you don't even have that energy to listen to them.
That's true.
And when people feel unheard, they get hurt,
And they stop.
Yeah, and they stop, and then they keep within themselves, and that's one of the reasons why people are feeling so stressed and anxious because they are absorbing everything from what they see.
Yes.
So, and there's so much information online that you see so many different things, so many different problems. Unless you create a barrier, you're going to embrace and absorb everything that you see.
That's
And
true.
that comes out in your relationships or on your kids or on your spouse or sometime on your colleagues.
That's very true. Bhavna, just we talk about the digital, right? These things, how much pressure they are putting on people.
Navneet, I feel that there is so much pressure in terms of not how you're living your life, but how the way you look.
Yes.
There is everyone wants to become someone else.
They want to portray something which they are.
That's right, they're not. And I think what we need to do is look at all the information online as a
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
It's illusion. It's not real. So and the thing is that anyone who is putting reels or putting photographs, they are portraying their best. They are
Yes.
not showing the life they are living.
That's true.
So if you look at them, compare their lives to your life, you are always going to live in misery because you are comparing their best, what they are showing the best, to the life you're living. And that's not a true life. Unless you kind of put a filter there, put a barrier, you're always going to compare, feel inferior. And then that's one of the reasons why people are feeling low in self-confidence. They're not happy with their own body. They're not happy with how they look and what they're doing in their lives.
Anyhow, I think so. You might be more happy than him or her.
That's true. But just because they're portraying themselves in certain way, you want to compare yourself and be unhappy.
That's true. Bhavna, we have feel that people feel pressured and they feel really exhausted as well. How they can overcome that exhaustion, pressure, and that negative mindset.
Yes. Namit, I feel that people feel stuck and they feel negative sometimes because they lose hope in life.
Yes.
One needs to remember is that seasons change, life also changes. So nothing is going to last forever in your life.
Yes.
And your own experiences, if you look back into your life, you will find that yes, there were challenges that you faced in the past too. It could have been a long period of challenge, but eventually you actually overcame those challenges.
Yes.
And something similar will happen even now. So if you're in a situation where you're feeling challenged or you see so many obstacles in your life, whatever you can do to your best of your abilities. Try your best to overcome it. Make a list of solutions that you think possibly can help you. But even after doing that, if it is not working, you just have to leave it. You just have to let the control be in the hand of the one who actually can control it.
And you have to take time. You have to
Absolutely.
set back.
That's true.
Just to relax yourself. That might be shown a picture or a light to you that where you are going wrong, what you have to do.
Yeah, that's so right. And patience, actually, you have to be
Yes.
patient. But I feel that today in this Amazon Prime era, everything we
Needs to
want
be
it
like this.
Yes,
Yes.
but in life things don't happen like that.
Yes.
We have to be patient. We have to wait for the right time to things to happen. These things cannot be delivered instantly.
That's true.
So having faith, having belief, and trusting the process of life is very important, especially for those situations that you cannot control.
Yes, I think so. The hardest part is the trust. People can't trust these days on anything. They are just trusting that the little device in their hand, but they are not trusting people who is sitting in front of you and telling you what is right and what is wrong. But we have to stop doing that. We have to stop listening to that small device which we have in our hand.
That's right. And I think that's why it is very important to have some time for yourself.
Yes.
Where you're away from your gadget and you are involved in your own thoughts, because that time that you spend with yourself actually gives you the space where
Yes.
you can actually dissociate yourself from rest of the world and then truly understand what you want in life and what is truly happening. Sometimes we are just worrying about things because there's so much anxiety built up because of all what's happening around.
Yes.
So when you create a distance from the world, then you realize actually you're worrying for no reason, or the things that you wanted is not your real desire. It is just because you have seen something online and you have seen someone living a certain kind of life that you got influenced by them, but that's not something that you need or even going to make you happy.
Yeah, people these days, they are just following.
Trends.
Yes, following whatsoever, but they forgot to look into themselves.
Yeah, that's right. And I think going back to our
Yes.
ancient Indian roots, how we were always taught to spend time with ourselves,
Yeah.
meditate, pray. And I think these things, no matter, how modern we become, these things have special place, and they are very, very valuable in life. And when we start to live this way, no matter, which era we are living, we
Yes.
can still safeguard ourselves.
So, Bhavna, people are getting really scared of the change. When there is a change, they're scared of everything. They're scared of the surroundings, they're scared of that particular person, even though who is trying to calm you and convince you. The change is playing a big part of pressure as well. So, what do you think about that?
Again, I would like to, bring a quotation. Change is chance to grow.
Yes,
So without change, growth cannot happen.
that's true.
See, we all immigrated here. There was a big change for us. But if we didn't embrace that change, we wouldn't have explored the possibility. We would have not been sitting together here doing this podcast.
That's true.
So change, although it can be very overwhelming, it can be daunting. Yes, we can be scared, afraid of it. But the thing is that we need to believe in the person within us. We need to be strong enough to face any challenge that comes our way, because without change, growth cannot happen. So if you are looking to grow in your life, just be open to change, because associate that change with the possibilities you're going to get. And that shift of mindset from when you look at the possibilities you're going to get, you will become motivated, and then you can overcome your fears just with that motivation.
Change is must. I have a very short example for it, okay? If we are eating the same thing in our daily life, would we be able to do it? No. We need a change. In a day, we need 3 different meals. We can't eat same
That's
meal.
so true. Yes.
So change is must.
Yeah, and in fact, if you see when you sow a seedling,
Yeah.
okay, you don't see it growing.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's still growing.
Yeah.
And it goes through that change, turns into a plant.
Yeah.
It goes through a change and turn from plant to a big tree, when you can actually have fruits.
Yes,
So
true.
to see those fruits, the change needs to happen, and again, you need to be patient.
Yes.
You need to believe and have trust.
Trust and change is must.
That's true.
So Bhavna, we heard of meditation a lot. How meditation help us in our daily life? What positive changes we can bring in our life with meditation?
See, meditation is a state of being aware.
Okay.
So once we become aware from within, outside stress or outside obstacles, they stop to bother us. You are the same person.
Yes.
It's just the change that brings in your body, that you are not afraid of anything in life, because you become aware, and coming back, you become aware that yes, things will pass. It's not going to remain like this forever. And that's where the mind actually shifts from negative to being positive. Apart from that, meditation actually calms your body. It calms your mind. You become more focused. You become more aware. You become more present. You stop to think about what has happened, and you stop to worry about what will happen. You start to live in this particular moment. And once you start living in the moment, you are in a very blissful state.
So basically, you are saying that meditation brings you a inner peace.
That's very true, because peace can only come when you are calm from inside.
That's true.
No matter how sometimes we go to different places and we say, oh, this is so peaceful.
It's not.
It's not. It's the person within you. Once you are peaceful from within, you will feel at peace no matter where you are, whether you're sitting in your bedroom or you are, out somewhere in nature, you will feel peace, same kind of peace.
Bhavna, people talk about mind, body, soul, and all these aspects, how big effect they put at us.
See, mind, body, and soul, if you combine them together,
Yeah.
that's the best team we have.
Okay.
So to look after your body, you need to nourish it well. You need to move it well.
Mm-hmm.
To look after your mind, you need to have positive thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And to look after your soul, you need to have a deep inner connection and you have to give to the world so that your soul feels fulfilled. So once your mind, body, and soul are in alignment, they are in balance, then nothing can stop you in life, and nothing can break you ever in life. So that's why when we talk about yoga or meditation, what we are trying to do is bring our body, mind, and soul in alignment.
Okay.
So you know, when we are sick, for example, or when we are unhealthy, or when we are eating unhealthy food, we are going to be unwell.
Yeah.
Okay. So when one aspect of your body is not right, even though the other two are functioning well, you're not going to have a state of balance. When your mind is disturbed, you can't even physically function sometimes.
Yes.
Yes. When your soul is not fulfilled, no matter how successful you are, you're not going to be happy.
Yep.
So, and through yoga and meditation, the aim is actually to bring your mind, body, and soul in alignment. And that's what a lot of my writings are all about as well. So that not only we are focused on one aspect of life, because unless these three aspects are all in alignment, we cannot lead a happy, peaceful, and successful life.
So, Bhavna, can you give us a short meditation in which our listeners can be connected and feel calmed when they feel anxiety?
Yes, sure. What I will suggest through this meditation practice, a short meditation practice, we will focus on our breath. So we have to remember that when we feel anxious or stressed, our breathing, you will notice that it becomes fast, it becomes uneven, it changes. Yes. So we're going to focus on our breath. One of the reasons why we feel anxious is because we worry or we are thinking something about the past.
Yeah.
So we're going to focus on that. And the last thing is that we need to bring our awareness just to observe our thoughts, not to react to anything. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just sit straight, and our back should be straight.
Okay.
So the reason why your back should be straight in meditation is because there are some chakras, yes, and there's flow of energy through those chakras. So by keeping our back straight, we allow the flow of energy. Okay. So we need to relax our body, relax our shoulder. We carry a lot of stress here on our shoulders. We're going to relax that. We're going to relax our face, and then we're going to close our eyes. So by closing our eyes, we actually shut ourselves from the rest of the world. So then we are left with just ourselves and our thoughts, which is much easier to deal with than rest of the world.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do it together. We're going to close our eyes. You can put your hands in this mudra. This is called Gyan Mudra, receiving position.
Okay.
So we receive knowledge.
Okay.
And your thumb is touching your index finger and palm open. You can put it on your thighs.
Okay.
You can do even meditation lying down also. Just need to make sure that your spine is straight.
Okay.
Okay. Then we're going to close our eyes. And we're going to take a deep breath in and out. We're going to inhale deeply and exhale out completely. We're going to do this 3 or 4 more times. Inhale completely and exhale out. Now, as you breathe in and out, just start focusing on your breath, and you will notice that it is becoming more calm and more rhythmic, and you will start to feel a little bit at ease just with relaxing your breathing and focusing on your breathing. Now we are going to bring our awareness to our bodies and feel our presence where we are sitting. Just let all the thoughts pass. Just don't hold to any of the thought. Just relax your mind, relax your body. Just breathe slowly and calmly. Feel the breath going in and bring your mind to this moment. This is the moment of truth. This is the only moment you have. And slowly bring your attention back to your body. You can wiggle your toes and bring your attention to your legs, to your abdomen, to your shoulder, to your face, and slowly open your eyes. And you will feel much calmer.
Thank you, Bhavna, so much showing us this technique. I am feeling really calmer.
That's good. Yeah. So what breathing does is actually it activates the nervous system in our body, the parasympathetic nervous system, that is actually helps to relax. So just by breathing itself and relaxing your breath and focusing, bringing your attention to your breath, you can actually calm yourself down. And you have to remember that breathing is our life force.
That's true.
So once we become aware and once we consciously try to use it to our favor, we can actually get rid of anxiety, stress. And in fact, if you have any challenging situation, if you have an argument, or if you are very angry, you can just bring your focus to your breath and you can calm yourself down.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. Thanking you so much for doing all this for us.
It's
and
okay.
for our listeners as well.
No, thank you so much, Navneet, for having me, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. So, guys, if anyone wants to connect it with Bhavna, Bhavna will let us know from where you can come and connect with Bhavna. Please, Bhavna, tell us about it.
So you can contact me through my social media pages on Instagram. My ID is dr.bhavna.gautam. On Facebook, it's The Power of Thoughts and Imaginations. You can also visit my website at www.bhavnagautam.com.
Thank you, Bhavna. Thank you, guys, for enjoying our podcast today. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you like this podcast, keep watching Made in India Media. Thank you.